Hi, fellow traders. I hope you guys had a great day today. Well, I am so happy tomorrow is Friday. You just don't know. I'm so glad for this week to be over. This is by far my worst week of this year. Probably the worst week I've had in the last 2 or 3 years. It's just been crazy. And believe me, 3 years ago, if I'd have had a week like this, it might have broke me. Because it would have been a lot of mental ups and downs dealing with this thing. So just glad tomorrow is Friday and I can get a fresh start on Monday. But I want to share this with you real quick. This quote from Confucius. By three methods we may learn wisdom. First, by reflection, which is noblest. Second, by imitation, which is easiest. And third, by experience, which is the bitterest. Now, you guys know reflection is my thing. That, I believe, is the single most important component to my trading and to my growth, and what helped me become profitable so fast is through reflection, and not cutting corners. It saved me when I first started teaching. It helped me in my teaching career, and I was able to bring it over to trading. But the thing is, you can't cheat it. All the guys who actually stuck with reflection and then quit after a couple weeks, they made it through the tough times. Those that quit or half do it will probably never make it out. So, Confucius says reflection is the noblest. That's the one where we put in the work. We, at that point, when we reflect, we're taking ownership of whatever happened. Whatever we did, or whatever the experience was, positive or negative, we're taking responsibility. And that's what makes that big and noble. Now, imitation, that's a form of teaching. Because as teachers, we have to be able to demonstrate. And you should be able to copy what we do. Now, that's part of the learning process. And eventually, you're going to grow out of the imitation phase. So it's easy to imitate somebody and just do what they do. But when it comes time for you to be your authentic self, your authentic trader, and I honestly believe that's the only way you're going to be successful, is by you to, morph into your own trader. And the third, by experience, and that's where we're getting beat up every day. And that's the bitterest. But that experience is critical to us growing and to us learning. In trading, I still believe you learn by doing, not by reading a book, not by watching video after video. It's by actually getting in there and participating, actively engaging. That's when the rubber meets the road. That's when your learning really starts to take shape. So this is, I came across this, and I'm telling you, it touched me a certain kind of way. It really helped me feel a lot better, because I was kind of feeling down about today, really about the whole week. And, this really spells out what my philosophy is. All right, so, yep, that's me. That's my emoji for today. I'm fractured. I'm not a whole emoji cursing. I am actually fractured. I'm broken up. So, that is me right there. So let's see why. Okay, KBH, this was the first trade I took. Now, who in the hell would have thought a $20 stock with a really good float would trade like this? I mean, who would have expected this? Certainly not me. But it did. First trade I got in, I mean, this was ridiculous. And I was trading off the 3-minute and just blew me right up. I mean, right up. So I'm like, okay, we've been in an uptrend all morning, so it's probably gonna be a long. I thought it was breaking down. It looked like we were going to get weak, and we were gonna pull in at least to the 200, but it didn't. So when it set up long, of course I'm gonna take it long. And damn if it didn't come back and stop me out short. I mean, it's it's like the market is just against everything that I do. No matter what, it looks good going in, but after the fact, it looks like crap. It looks like a stock that you should not have traded. Now, had I waited for the 5-minute candle, I never would have traded this stock. Because look at the first 5-minute candle. I have a rule about these 5-minute candles. I don't touch this stock. But I was looking at the 3-minute, and the 3-minute looked really good. I jumped on it. And I think if I saw it again tomorrow on the 3-minute chart, I probably would do it again. I felt really, really safe. Obviously, because I went in 500 shares on this, I felt really, really safe that a $25 stock is not going to give me a $500 loss. $586.63 is what I lost on this one stock. And this is unheard of. I have never, ever lost that much money on a cheap stock like this. But this was just uncommonly volatile this morning. I've never seen this stock trade this way. But that's the risk we accept when we trade. Now, the reason why I lost so much is because I was a little bit too aggressive. The second time I went in, I probably should have gone in with 300 shares, and I wouldn't have hurt myself as much. But it's me. I was being aggressive, maybe subconsciously trying to make up for yesterday, trying to put a dent in yesterday, because I'm thinking, don't try to get it all back today. Over 2 days, it's possible. But trying to get it all back in one day makes no sense. And I don't know if that was in my mind about yesterday and trying to make some back. But whatever the case was, it was a train wreck. And I never want to deal with this again. So I think this is a once every 6 blue moon things that's going to happen, but I don't think it's going to happen often. But I don't want to deal with something like this again, because this had me on the verge of a mental breakdown. I'm trying to stay calm, but I'm about to curse somebody out after all of this. But the only person at the end of the day I could curse out is me. So really started my day out really, really, really bad. So HHC, this is a stock that ran all the way up. Okay. And it halted. So I'm watching this thing and I'm looking at it at lunch. And I'm like, I still have shares to short. This thing is on 50% margin. So I can use 3-to-1. That's pretty good. I can get a decent size in this. So I'm like, I'm gonna wait for it to unhalt itself, because it halted on this candle right here. And I said if we broke through this, I was going short. If we made a new high relative, a new high day, I was going to trade the breakout, because I felt we already had the pullback, we already had the profit taking, so a breakout I felt would work. Well, we got a little breakout. That's when I got in, but we had to hold through a little pullback. I was still in this unless we broke the low of this candle right here. Once we broke this candle, I was done. So it ended up working, hit my first target, and as we were coming back, I went ahead and took the rest of it off. And the idea was to, if it was coming back, to flip it short, or if it looked pretty good, we could get off, buy it off of this. But here we had to bounce, but this candle never made a new high. It just pulled back again, and I didn't get in it. I just wasn't going to trade it, because I didn't want it to just chop me around and then end up selling off. But pretty decent trade. I came back on it. I was patient and didn't try to force it, didn't try to rush back. I think, going to lunch, going to a peaceful place, being able to clear my head, just really helped out. So, that worked. And then I had a mentor session when I came back, and that helped calm me down too. So it was one of the bright spots in my day. But after this morning, I didn't think I would find a trade. This just kind of hit us in the face. And I wasn't chasing up here. This was just me buying the breakout. We had to pull back. I was in the halt. I was just buying the breakout after the halt, and looking for a decent move up. I thought we were going to get to 130 today. I really thought we had 130 in this, but it just wasn't to be. But still happy with what it gave me. But I said I was just going to wait for earnings, and NKE was on the scan this morning. So obviously, I know it's a stock. I hold it in my long-term portfolio, in my IRA. So, I don't want it to do bad, but I was looking for it to gap down, because the stuff with China, you've got, they're losing market share. The guidance didn't really look that good. I didn't think they were going to be the earnings estimates. I had all of that that I went through, and I was thinking that it was going to go short. So, that's what I told you guys. But I'm going to purposely not give you so much detailed information, because I don't want you guys to get out of hand. You've got to do the work. This is one of these things where it's not for new traders, not for beginning traders. Hell, it's not even for intermediate traders. You have to do the work. You got to do the legwork. It can't be, I'm going to short it because Ed said it's short, or the chart is telling me it's short. You've got to know what's behind it. So, I told you guys what I was thinking, and even though the setup wasn't as clean, I knew what I saw. And sure enough, it did just what we thought it was going to do. We look for it to do this before the market closes, but this did it right up into the announcement at 4:15. And the more it did this, the more I was like, yeah, we got this. And then as soon as it was announced, it missed, had bad guidance. This thing just started tanking. And I was looking for 79.50 for my next cover here, I tried to get this level, but positive slippage here, really nice. Was trying to get this level here, but it just didn't get there. And then it just ran back up. And I thought we were going to start working our way back down, and it ended up just getting bought back up. And I realized the fix was in. You know, you got a lot of big money people in here that don't want this thing to tank. Every time something bad happens with Nike and it starts to tank, somebody comes in and buys it up. It's just being held up. That's just the way Nike is. So I just let it go. I knew what the deal was, and so that's why we got out of it here. But if you were in chat today, you saw exactly where I entered, saw where I took profit, and you know where I got out. But I want you guys to learn this, not by just following me and going, because this is the type thing where you don't really have to think about it. If I say it's going to go short, if you wanted to follow me, you would just jump short. And you wouldn't know what to look for, what to listen out for, or anything. And that's why I want you guys to really understand it. Because if you don't understand the strategy, you don't understand what's giving you your edge, this is 100% gambling. And we don't want to do this. So we don't want to gamble. We want to make sure we have an edge and be able to enact that edge on the market every time. So if you don't understand it, just copying me is not going to help you gain that wisdom that you need. Remember, imitation is easy, but you're going to need that depth of knowledge by stepping out and doing this thing on your own. So, end of the day, minus 147.66. I know there's no way in hell I'm going to be able to get out of this hole and have a green day. So I'm not going to even try. I'm just going to trade the best setup tomorrow, if they are any. If they aren't, I'm not going to trade anything. It's time for me to man up, be responsible and do the right thing here. So that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to do some soul searching, and I'm going to have a Mark Douglas marathon starting Saturday morning, or once I do my chores Saturday. I'm going to come in, take a shower, and fire up the Mark Douglas videos and try to get this head screwed on straight. But that's going to do it for me. I hope you guys have a good rest of the night, and I will see you in the morning.